Let's take us to present moment, or not present moment, but the moment of the idea of Bar George, because we were talking about it, not even just Bar George, but Georgie's as well, because we were talking about it a little bit before, and you even hinted at it. You know, there's just nothing with this concept, right? There was no proof of concept. It's a little bit scary. So how did that whole thing come to be? With the idea for this, and then the final decision to, hey, let's go for it.
Yeah, the business in Naples, that's the restaurant as well?
That's a high-end breakfast lunch restaurant.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a little bit different.
So it's very different.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. For this, there was really no proof of concept. It was basically, look, I made an agreement with my dad, and it was, look, I never went to college. I never spent money like your average person would going to college and all the BS expenses. So I said, it's like, look, I don't need $250,000. I need $1 million. And he looked at me like, Sure. Whatever you say, anything you say goes, I guess. And he's like, sure, I'll do it. And prove to me that you can put something together that works. First thing was I was already wrong with $1 million. I was $600,000 off. So sorry, Dad. And then honestly, when we opened it, it was a shit show. And we had no clue what we were doing. We had the experience of previous restaurants, but it was kind of one of those ones where we grew into kind of where it's trending and where it's moving forward to now. Yeah. The restaurant itself, we already knew we had a proof of concept there. We had a pretty distinct direction we wanted to go. The only issue we had in the beginning, we didn't have the team to actually execute that. So that's kind of what we've moved forward into in the last 6, 7, 8 months.
So what was the timeline? What was the year you started it? Because I think there was something that was going on in the world that kind of impacted it, right?
It's something small called Corona. It's just something small. So we originally were trying to get this open for June of 2020. June of 2020. Obviously, with everything that happened, that wasn't the case. In the middle of that as well, we expanded 3,000 square feet into the bar area and all that. So it moved us all the way back to, we didn't actually start construction until mid-January of 21.
Okay. How'd that affect your finances? Are you already paying rent? Did the landlord give you a break?
We were lucky. Benderson was good to us. We had an agreement with them anyways that we weren't going to be paying rent until we CO'd. Right, which is very fortunate for us.
That's a common term when you're doing a build out, right?
Exactly, and thankful to them for doing that for us, because that would have hurt financially at $27,000 a month. But so they
How many
were
craft beers do you have to sell?
That's a lot of that's a lot of beer.
You got to light a lot of shots on fire at that bar.
Exactly.
And then they do light a lot of shots on fire at that bar, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that's not an issue for us, but we were extraordinarily lucky with that. And then on the flip side as well, we kind of got the rough side of it as well, because as anyone in the business world knows, we weren't eligible for PPP. We weren't eligible for certain grants.
New business.
Exactly, new business.
No loss to show.
Exactly, there's no loss to show. And we were feeling the loss in the beginning of it, not on the rent side of things, but just deferred money out. We had payroll going. I had a payroll starting in end of 2020 at about $25,000 a month.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'd like to pay yourself at some point as well.
That'd be nice, yeah. I mean, our view on the business is I don't pay myself out of my business. I have other companies that my dad and I operate, that I take money out of. This is, for me, is everything I make in this business is reinvested to my next business.
Right.
Like we mentioned earlier, we're doing our downtown store.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, this is the first place publicly that we're going to say that. Number one for Trey. So that's kind of where this money is kind of reinvesting itself into, and that's kind of the plan for the next 5 years.
So you got a vision for expansion?
For sure. I mean, my goal has always been, and I've said this in multiple Sarasota news sources, and I got a lot of crap for it online from a lot of local people, is this was never about a singular operation. This is about a growth in the area of, if it's 5 units, it's 5 units. If it's 10, it's 10. There's really no number in our head that we say, hey, we want this, just because we don't know how the area is going to grow in time, and we don't know conceptually what the area wants. My biggest want out of my businesses is how do I grow them, and how do I create opportunity for a lot of the people that I have, especially now on the beginning grounds of it, all the way to, if we're 10 years down the line, and let's just say it's a company that grows to $100 million, how do I bring those people with me now all the way to that point?
And that's literally always that's the the goal of most entrepreneurs, right? Is to build a sustainable business that you're bringing people up with you, and obviously you've created a place that's fun, so much so that we even see you here quite often, right? So it's not just a place that you started and then said, all right, have your fun. You're here in the mix pretty regularly.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't believe in just building a concept and handing it off. It's at the end of the day, it has my name on it, no different than my dad's money in it, my money in it, right? So we take a lot of pride in what we do, and it has to operate to a standard. And our first year, it was really trying to figure out how do we build a standard for our people to work through, and then when we expand and hopefully we're doing it in the right timeline, it will end up having the same characteristics as this business, so it can continue to thrive.